Welcome to my virtual walkthrough of the 2008 Houston Area Arcade Expo. And what a great expo it was this year. Going into the tournament room, that's Keith Christensen, who puts on the expo every year. There on the right is Stern's amazing new Batman pinball. And over here is some of Dan Ferguson's collection, vintage EM pins. Dan's got a huge collection in North Houston of hundreds of games, all restored by him. Most of his collection is vintage, starting from the 20s, from the very dawn of pinball. There's one from the 30s. And here's one from the 40s. This is pre-flipper, so after you plunge the ball, the only way to influence its movement is to use English. Let's try it out. All pinball used to be like this before 1948. Let's see, moving over. Here we have a 1948 games, the first year with flippers. Gottlieb invented them on Humpty Dumpty, and this is Chicago Coins Sally, a very challenging and addictive game. There's a great pitch and bat game there. I think that was a Williams game. Over here in the corner are some classic home consoles like the Atari 2600. They knew that'd be popular, so they brought 4 of them. The Atari 5200 and the Atari 7800. And an Astrocade by Bally. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. There's an Atari XE game machine, which they based on their mid-80s XE computer. And an Odyssey. Over here is the tournament corner with some really difficult games that were used for competition later in the event. Now we get into the main room. In the center of the room we find 26 classic pinball games and pinball-like games. All of these are solid-state pinballs. The oldest game in here is from 1979, but most of these are from the 90s. F-14 Tomcat there is from 1987. And that Bally Paragon there is the oldest pinball in here. You can't see it very well, but to the right of Checkpoint and behind this guy here is one of the nicest restored fun houses I've ever seen. There's the Ultrapin video pinball setup based on V-Pin name, and there's my buddy Mike working on his Dr. Dude. And here's the famous Pinball 2000 with a personal favorite, Revenge from Mars, which was the sequel to Attack from Mars, which is right behind it. Now there's the great Twilight Zone. And another new Stern, Indiana Jones. Great game, but it was broken most of Saturday evening. Moving over to the video games. Here we have some great stuff. A whole row of classic Williams games brought in by ex-Williams programmer Ken Graham. There's Warlords Cocktail that you barely saw there on the right. That saw a lot of action late Saturday night. There's a pretty rare Williams game, Joust 2. And there's Pong, the first commercially successful video game. Here we pass a beautiful looking Atari Quantum, another pretty rare game. Over there is Keith's Corner, where he DJs and makes announcements, and there's all the tournament trophies. Good old Atari Star Wars. never loses its appeal. What a great game. Safecracker, a very low production run, mini pinball. It's a fantastic game. And over here is Major Havoc. The price tag on that is a joke. That game went for, I think, $4,000. And sadly, we now have to return you to your present time. See you next year at the Houston Arcade Expo.